Hey, Rick, are you there? I was just wondering if the bill for my taxes hadn't reached your house yet.
Oh yes, it did get delivered to my house, but I want to know just what the heck you think you're doing. We're divorced, so why in the world are you trying to get me to pay your taxes? I was the one that moved away, so I know that this isn't some kind of mistake.
Oh, of course it isn't a mistake at all, Rick. After all, I was the one who sent all of that to you in the first place.
I had a suspicion that this all might have been you. But I still don't understand what will make you do something like this. I mean, you realize these are the documents you use to pay your taxes, right? You kind of need these to, well, pay them.
What are you talking about? I don't need them at all. Haven't you given them a thorough reading over?
Look, I don't know what kind of game you're trying to get at here, but the fact is that you and I are divorced. These aren't my tax documents and I'm not going to look at them.
But why won't you just take a small glance at them? After all, how are you going to know how much you'll have to pay? Then you'll be the one in trouble.
And just how do you figure that I'll be the one in trouble? That doesn't even make any sense.
Of course you're going to be in trouble. After all, you only have until the deadline in those papers to pay it all, or else you'll get penalized.
No. You really have no idea what you're talking about at all right now, right? I don't live with you, so why would I pay your taxes? It doesn't make sense. I mean, is this supposed to be your idea of a prank or something?
You do know that you and I have only been divorced for about 6 months, right? And that for the first part of the year, you and I were still living together, right?
Of course I know that. But I really don't think that that has anything to do with what we're talking about now.
You mean you still aren't able to figure it out? We both were living in this house together. That means that you have an obligation to pay taxes with me. Don't you get it?
Now hold on just one second there. Are you really being serious about all of this? This really isn't a joke or a prank or anything like that at all?
I already told you that I was being serious and that this wasn't a joke at all. I don't get why you can't seem to understand this, Rick. But it doesn't really matter as long as you shut up and pay me my money. If you do that, then we won't need to talk about this anymore.
That really isn't the issue that I'm worried about here. I want to know why you think that's how taxes work at all. Honestly. I pay my taxes and you pay your taxes. That's how it's always been. I don't need to pay for your taxes.
You really don't know what you're talking about at all, and that proves it. Besides, if you don't pay those, then I'll be in serious trouble. Is that what you want?
What I want is to have nothing to do with you either way, actually. Besides, I don't know why you thought sending me these documents was going to make me pay. It just isn't going to work.
But why not? I thought that if I sent them to you that you'd pay for it all. Have you still not looked at them? Do you even look at them? Did you throw them away or something?
No, I didn't throw your tax forms away. But I did write return to sender on the ladder and put it back in the mailbox. So they should be arriving to you shortly. Just make sure you pay what you owe.
No, that's not going to happen and nobody can make me do that. You are going to pay it off for me. And when they do arrive back here, I'm just going to send them all back to you anyways. So, what do you think about that? I won't ever stop until you've paid every last cent that is being asked of me. Got it?
And I'm telling you that I'm just not going to pay for anything if you keep doing that. Besides, you don't even make that much money, so I can't imagine that you're even being asked to pay all that much. Just pay your taxes and then be done with this whole silly thing.
I am telling you that I just can't do that. I'll pay next time though, so just do this for me, okay? Do it, or else I'll never ever forgive you.
Sasha, I also can't and won't pay your taxes for you. This is something that you need to do. You and I need to talk about this if this is the way you're going to be acting.
Okay, Rick, this little game of yours has gone on for long enough. It is time that you pay for my taxes. Stop ignoring them and pay them already.
I'm not ignoring your taxes, Sasha. I'm ignoring you. Can't you see that? Besides, I already told you that I wasn't going to be paying your taxes for you no matter how many times you sent them to me. But if I can be honest with you, it's starting to get pretty annoying having to return it over and over again.
Well, I told you that I was going to make you pay my taxes if it was the last thing that I do. Did you not think that I was being serious?
I don't really care what empty threats you make to me about something you can't make me do. Besides, have you noticed that the envelopes you've been forwarding me are all marked as urgent or late? I think you really need to quit messing around and pay these.
Oh, please, what does that even mean? What can they actually even do to me?
Come on, Sasha. There's no need to act like a child. You could get in serious trouble for not doing this.
But it's not fair! I've already worked hard enough for what I got. That's why I'm coming to you for this anyways. So you pay those taxes and any late fees that they have with them.
I'm sorry, but that is not the way to ask for something that you want at all. But whatever. I don't really even know why I'm bothering with you. But consider this my way of telling you that you're late on your taxes. And I do mean your taxes. You and I aren't married anymore, and I don't owe you anything. Do you understand?
You think that just because we're divorced that you don't have to do anything for me at all? We've only been apart for 6 months.
6 months? Don't tell me that you actually don't even make enough money now to cover your own expenses. Why are you unable to pay this?
I have debts and loans and all kinds of things that basically mean I'm in a very tight spot financially.
You have debts? I don't think that I knew that. Just how much do you owe?
I don't know, something like $30,000 or something, I guess.
Is that supposed to be some kind of joke or something? I mean, when you and I got divorced, we split our assets, remember? Are you really telling me that you've gone through all of that and took out a $30,000 loan on top of that?
And just what business of yours is it what I choose to do with my life? I can do whatever I want. We're not married anymore, remember?
I see. So that rule only applies to you and not me, is that right? I already told you that I don't have or want anything to do with this anymore. Besides, it's not like you didn't have the money for this already. Don't blame me because you don't know how to spend responsibly.
You don't know what you're talking about at all. Ever since we got divorced, my standard of living has just plummeted. And it's all because you were the one who was making so much more money than I was. It's not my fault. I never even had to worry about money or how to spend it when you and I were still together.
Even if that was a valid excuse, how do you end up owing $30,000? Although, it is true that part of the reason why I left you was because you were always spending more money than we had, really.
Well, whatever, that's all in the past now. I've caught you up with what the situation is now. So now that you know that I can't pay off my taxes on my own, are you finally going to agree to pay them for me? I know that we're divorced, but we were husband and wife once, and that's gotta mean something, right? Don't you get that if this stuff doesn't get paid that I could be in serious trouble?
No, Sasha, I'm not going to be the one paying for your taxes, okay? Although in light of what you said, I'm not just going to leave you to drown either.
Well, in that case, why don't you just pay for my taxes then? That's the best way that you can help me, don't you get that?
And I just told you I'm not comfortable going that far. But I will give you some advice though. And that's to come down to the town hall right away, okay?
Ugh, you think I care about what kind of advice you have to give me? What's the point of any of this if you're not going to pay for what I'm asking you to do? And why in the world would I waste my time going down to the town hall?
Well, if you explain to the people there some of what you were telling me, you might be able to get a tax reduction. And that would mean that overall, you would be paying less taxes than you are now. I know that it's not the perfect situation, but it's certainly better than the situation you're in now.
No, No, that's stupid! I'm not going to embarrass myself by begging for mercy at the town hall.
Are you really sure that you have the luxury not to do so, though? I mean, if you don't have a way to pay this, then this is a good start to knock those numbers down.
But if I do that, then everyone is going to think that I'm poor or something. Besides, if they aren't going to agree to cancel everything, then what's the point?
The point is that you'll have to pay less of what you have to pay right now. But I am sticking by what I said, and I'm not going to pay this for you. So you can take my advice or not.
Wait, no, don't go. You're not going to leave me like this, right? I mean, you're not just going to abandon me, are you?
Nobody's abandoning anyone. But the fact of the matter is that you and I are divorced. I don't need to be there for you, and so I'm not abandoning you. I'm just going back to my life in hopes that you'll go back to yours.
But don't you think that that's just a little bit self-serving? I mean, how can you just pretend like we don't have anything to do with each other?
Aren't you already late on paying all of these off? That's on you, not me.
But then, just what are you suggesting that I do in this case? I mean, I can't just keep kicking this can down the road forever. But I won't be able to live if I try and scrounge up the money that I'll need to pay all of this.
Why are you even coming to me about this? Why not go ask your own parents for money instead? We're divorced and yet I'm still the guy that you come to when you want something? What's up with that?
You know that there's no way that I could tell my mom about any of this. I mean, if she finds out that I'm late on my taxes because of my debts, don't you realize that you'll ruin the whole image I've built for myself amongst my family?
I really don't think that's what's going to happen at all. I think maybe you're just a prideful person who doesn't want to admit a mistake. But I think that if you went to your family and people who will be willing to help you, you'll find that they would.
Well, that's the whole reason why I came to you in the first place. I thought that you would want to help me through this. Don't you realize how much trouble I'll be in if you don't do this for me?
I already gave you my answer and it's not going to change. So why don't you just swallow your pride and go to your parents? And if you're not going to do that, then at least leave me alone and out of all of this. Now goodbye.
Hello, Rick, are you there? I was wondering if you had a moment to talk right now.
Are you and I really going to have to go through this again? I thought that you would have learned your lesson last time. I really don't know what it is that you're after this time, but I'm going to tell you now that it's not going to work.
I'm very sorry, but I think that you might be just a little misinformed right now. You see, the thing is that this isn't Sasha, but I don't know how to get in contact with you, so I'm using Sasha's phone right now.
Oh, really? So you're not Sasha? Okay then, just who are you supposed to be in that case? And just what do you need from me if you don't even know what my number is?
This is Sasha's mother, actually. And I just wanted to let you know that my little girl collapsed yesterday because you wouldn't pay her taxes. She's in the hospital receiving treatment right now, but you should know that we're going to be sending the bill for all of this.
So Sasha fainted and had to be rushed to the hospital, all because I wasn't going to pay her taxes for her?
That's exactly right. I certainly hope that you're happy with yourself.
And this happened yesterday, is that right?
That's what I just told you, is it not?
I'm sorry, but I'm still really not following at all. What is it exactly that you want from me?
I want you to pay for what happened to my daughter after you abandoned her. She went to you for help and you didn't even offer it to her, and now this has happened. Well, as her mother, I just can't forgive you for this. I am going to make you pay every last penny that you have for what you did to my poor daughter.
I guess that I understand the situation. But the thing is that if you're really Sasha's mom, I wish you would have told me when we met before. If you did, then I never would have said any of that to begin with.
Hold on a second. Are you telling me you met up with my mom?
Sasha, you're not in any trouble at all.
What in the world are you talking about? I'm Sasha's mother, not Sasha.
Are you sure about that? Because you kind of already screwed up this whole little charade. And just what is this about you trying to get more money out of me? Did you really think this was going to work?
Well, you said that you weren't going to pay me anything at all. So I had to try to think of something to try and get you to pay. Besides, you're the bad guy here.
I'm sorry, but did you really ever think that something like this even had a chance of tricking me into falling for it? I knew that this was all fake from the very start. I mean, this is just getting too stupid, even for you.
But, I don't understand. What were you saying about meeting up with my mom before? Why in the world is my ex-husband meeting up with my mom when you two should have nothing to do with each other at all?
Well, if it'll make you finally get off my back, maybe I'll just tell you about it. I told your mom that you were coming to me, telling me that I had a duty to pay your taxes for you. And let me just say, I do not think that she took that news all that well.
You're kidding me. Did you really do that? Why in the world would you tell my mom about this?
Look, I know that you were already getting money from your parents. But when your mom found out that you were just trying to get more money from me as well, well, I think it was the last straw for her.
So that's why you went to go and tell her that I was asking you for money? You should have told me you were going to do this. What if my mom stopped sending me money because of what you've done? Why did you have to go and do this to me?
Well, I had to do something. You said so yourself that you weren't going to stop bothering me until I had to agree to give you that money. This was really the only thing I could do that I thought would finally make you stop.
Oh no, what am I supposed to do? I really relied on my parents sending me money. If I don't have them, how am I supposed to live?
I get that you're having some money problems, but I think that there's even more that you should be worried about.
What are you talking about? What could be more important to worry about than this?
About what I told her, right? I think she's actually going to have a talk with you right now.
Hold on a second. You mean that my mom is on her way to talk to me right now? Are you serious?
Well, like I said, it sounds like you have more pressing things to be worrying about than me. So I guess I'll just leave this here and let your mom handle the rest of it like she said she would. Have a nice life. After that, I heard from Sasha's mom and her husband that it would be best to cut Sasha off from any more money and encourage her to find her own way in life. Before doing that, however, in order to make sure they could keep a close eye on their daughter, they agreed to pay off her debts so long as she paid them back. Obviously, this isn't what Sasha wanted, but she didn't really have much other choice. Sasha took my advice to go to the town hall and negotiate a tax reduction, though she was saddled with the rest of the amount after her parents paid it off. I imagine the whole experience must have been quite embarrassing for someone with so much pride like Sasha. But I just hope that at least she is able to learn some kind of lesson. And to think if she had just gone to her parents with these problems and left me out of it, they might have helped out way more than they were already willing to. Either way, none of this is really my problem to deal with anymore, and at the end of the day, that's all that really matters to me. I ended up blocking Sasha, and I hear that she is too busy working multiple jobs to meet her parents' strict repayment schedule.